Shastra, what kind of Shraddhas they may have or they may not have. So in the 17th chapter, the Arjuna is asking a question, Ye Shastra Vidhimutsrujya Yajante Shraddhayanvita. Don't follow any Shastras, but they will perform Upasana with Shraddha and with Nishtha. What kind of uh, process they will go through with Sattva or Raja or Tama? Before we go into this question, let us review yesterday's situation of Shastra being the guide book for our life. Now, ab initio, to start with, everybody who is born as a child does not know anything. All of us are born as small babies, small children. They don't know anything. So they have to be taught by the Shastra through their parents and their teachers. There is no alternative. If you say that you can do whatever you like, then the child will remain like Mowgli in forest. He doesn't know anything about human society. Even in modern times, there are some people who are lost in the forest in northeast Mizoram and other places for many years. And when they come out, they will not be able to speak also. They will not be able to speak with their own brothers and sisters. So it is the question of learning and teaching. So for the baby to learn and the child to learn and grow, even up to the age of 35, 40, people are continuously learning. In fact, we all learn till we die. So now in this learning process, there are only three possibilities. One is parents, other is teachers, and third is a book. Now, the word Shastra means science, knowledge, repository of knowledge. The word Shastra means repository of knowledge. It is a book. It is a science. It is a textbook. The word Shastra means textbook. In fact, the word Shastra means science in modern times. Like Kerala Science Academy has a name, Kerala Shastra Parishad. So Shastra means science. So science means it has got certain laws of nature identified and the rules of lifestyle, what you should do. In fact, the last sentence, Karya Karyo Vyavasthito, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karyo Vyavasthito. What you should do and what you should not do, the proof of that or the standard behavior protocol has to be given by Shastra, which can mean science and which can also mean a book. It can also mean a law, code of law, Chattam, Shastram Prakriti, Chattam Vikriti. It has multiple meanings. So now coming to other religions like Bible and Quran, they are considered to be their Shastras, their books. They say that we are the people of the book. All right, fine. Jews follow the Old Testament, Christians follow the New Testament and Old Testament, and Muslims follow Quran. And surprisingly, they say all others are people without book. Hindus or Buddhists or Jains or Sikhs, they consider they are people without book. They are making these public statements. I have encountered in one conference, one big professor from Israel who called all others Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, etc. as people without book, which I objected, saying that you may have one book, but we have many books. So now the question arises, what is the difference between one book and many books? Now, in the Hindu environment, these many books comprise of the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. Now we are considering Bhagavad Gita. We may take up Upanishads after this course is over. Tomorrow, this is the last chapter, 18th chapter. We would like to take up Upanishads after that because Upanishads are the original source of knowledge for Bhagavad Gita itself. And Bhagavad Gita is the original source of knowledge for people like Gandhi and so many other great saints. So Upanishads are the original Gangotri kind of thing. Of course, Vedas are even bigger. Upanishads are part of the Vedas only. We will consider Vedas separately when we consider Upanishads also. So now the point is in the hundreds of books, thousands of books or lakhs of books we have from the Vedas, Upanishads and Gita and Puranas and Shastras, thousands of Shastra textbooks. How can you say that we are the people without a book? So this question I asked them and they had no answer. They just kept quiet without knowing anything. So the discussion that is happening now, yesterday and today, is about the Shastra. So yesterday he said, you should do everything as per the Shastra. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karyo Evasthito Shastra Vidhanoktum Karma Kartum Iharhasi. You shall perform all your life actions, both what is to be performed and what is prohibited, Vidhi and Nishedha, as per the Shastra. This is the statement he has given. Because if you don't follow the Shastra, you will be doing anything you like without knowing what is correct and what is wrong. If you're like a child does not know, a student does not know what is true and what is false, what is correct and what is not correct. So he can do whatever he likes. Like Duryodhana did whatever he liked. Though everybody told him not to do that, but he was not listening. Finally, what is the result? He has been destroyed. Everybody has been destroyed. So following your own, decision making without adequate knowledge and without adequate wisdom and without adequate experience, that is another important thing. Knowledge is of different types. We have explicit knowledge and implicit knowledge. I wrote a book on knowledge management. Knowledge can be explicit or implicit. There are a lot of people who don't have explicit knowledge, but they have tacit knowledge. Like our grandmother, grandfather, grandmother's recipes. She never wrote a book or she never read a book, but she knows so many things which you can learn from her grandmother, great grandmother. Nowadays, grandmothers also must have become ultra modern, but I'm talking of the old grandmothers. So the point is that this tacit knowledge, which is coming only by experience, that has to be respected. So knowledge management consists of internalization of knowledge, externalization of knowledge, and socialization of knowledge. Now, what is happening right now in this lecture? I am externalizing and socializing my knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita, and you are internalizing this knowledge into yourself. So this is entire process is called knowledge management, teaching, learning, methodology, pedagogy, and so on. So now, without a shastra, if you want to do whatever you like, then there is a problem, because there is no guarantee that whatever you are doing is correct or wrong. जैसा आपके मर्जी है वो आप ऐसा करते जाएंगे तो उसका कोई प्रमाण नहीं है. तस्मात् शास्त्रम प्रमाणम थे. So whatever you are doing, if you are doing according to the shastra, then you can say, see, this is mentioned here like this. I should do the morning. You have to get up at 4:30 and take bath and this and that. There is a mention. It is mentioned in Manusmriti. It is mentioned in Mahabharata. It is mentioned in Yoga Shastra. It is mentioned in Patanjali Sutra. So I am doing this. You have a proof. Suppose you say that I will get up midnight at 12 o'clock and I will sleep at morning 10 o'clock. Now, is that correct or not? Some people are doing it. In IIIT Hyderabad, people wake up whole night and sleep in the daytime. They are called Nishacharas in Sanskrit, who are waking up and walking around in the nights. So is it correct? It will affect your heart. It will affect your brain. It will affect so many things. Similarly, drinking alcohol or eating non-vegetarian or taking drugs or not taking drugs or doing fasting or not doing fasting. Now, for example, Muslims follow fasting in Ramzan. It is according to their book. They are following. They cannot do whatever they like. Any Muslim cannot say that I will fast in the midnight, I will eat in the early morning, whatever it is, whatever their rules are there, as per the rule book, they will follow. Similarly, in the hospital, the doctor and nurse will follow the rule book. Like COVID-19 also, there are some rules. You have to wash your hands, you have to put a mask, all these things. So now the first point is that you cannot do whatever you like because you are ignorant, you are innocent, you are a child or you are a student and you don't have adequate knowledge, nor you have adequate wisdom, nor you have adequate experience. So people who are old, they have experience. They may be knowledgeable or they may not be. There are two types of vruddhas, jnana vruddhas and vayo vruddhas. There are old people and there are people old with knowledge. They may be looking young, like for example, Krishna is looking young only, but is greater and older in knowledge than Bhishma also. Bhishma also become his devotee. So jnana vruddhas and vayo vruddhas. Some people can be both. Vayavruddha and Jnanavruddha. Vayavruddha means by age he has become old. He will automatically get more knowledge because he has spent 30, 40 years more time than you in this life, and therefore he has acquired more knowledge either from books or from people or from life experience. There are a lot of people, like our old grandmothers, who never read any books, who never had any degrees. Like my mother had no degree, but she was more knowledgeable than all the degree holders in this state. She has studied all books in City Center Library completely. And you cannot believe all others who have PhDs cannot study all those books. And apart from that, you have knowledge from experience in life. By upbringing children, by getting them married, by conducting deliveries of children. So many experiences are there. And I went up to Gangotri, Gaumukh. I have that experience. It is not in a book. So many knowledge are experiential. They are not bookish. A lot of people have this problem of having purely bookish knowledge and no experiential knowledge. Now, Shastra is a complete collection of embodied collection of experiential and academic knowledge into one form, and you shall decide what you have to do and what you should not do according to that. That is the main principle. Now, of course, there is one position taken that in the closed societies, like some of the Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia and others, they have no option but to follow their Sharia law, which is given in the Quran. Now, whereas in the other Muslim countries, which are more liberal, like Turkey or Dubai or Abu Dhabi, it is not like that. The non-Muslims also can live there. They can follow their own rules. And in India, we have the Indian law and we have the Sharia being followed voluntarily by Muslims. If they want, they can follow. But it is not imposed by the government. So now there's a big confusion. In the Western societies, those who follow Bible or Quran are considered to be blind believers and fanatics and, bigots. And those who follow science are supposed to be liberals and true free people and true scientific lifestyle. Whereas in the case of Hinduism, that problem is not there. Because both Shastra and Veda are together. In Hinduism, the textbooks of religion and the textbook of science are merged into together one. Like Ayurveda is a Veda. It is nothing but medicine. Yoga is a science, but it is also part of religion. So religion science distinction is not valid for Hinduism, Hindu scriptures. Whereas in other societies, that problem is there. Because they are stuck in time. Some of these scriptures of other religions, they are stuck in time for 1,000 years, 2,000 years. They have not developed, they have not added the scientific aspects into their Shastras. So they are following 1,400-year-old, 2,000-year-old books, which don't have the updated knowledge. Whereas that's not the problem with us, because our Ayurveda or Yoga, they are continuously being updated till recently. Not after modern Western science advent, say 150 to 200 years ago. But till then, they were updated. And the integration between Veda and Shastra has been extremely successful. In another beauty in our Hindu scriptures is that all scriptures, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Ayurveda, Yoga, Agama, you take any Shastra, will have a consistency. They don't oppose each other. For example, the Panchabhutas are the same thing in Veda, in Upanishads, in Ayurveda, in Yoga, and in Rasa Shastra, everywhere, which are all sciences. Similarly, the periodic table which came out actually from original Ayurveda notions and Vaiseshika concepts only, atomic theory. I wrote a book, The Physics of Vaiseshika, is showing the atomic theory in Vaiseshika. So the point I'm trying to make now is, the word Shastra means science, and it also means book. And in the case of Hindu scriptures, the books or the religious code of conduct or the Vedas and the Smritis and Shrutis, and also the Bhagavad Gita and other Shastras are all internally consistent with each other. And therefore, science and religion are not opposed to each other in the Indian culture. Whereas in some other countries, it may be like that their religious books are in opposition to the scientific texts. For example, evolution theory. There is a big debate and fight between the religious people and scientific people on this issue. And similarly, what happens after death and what happens whether God exists or not. These questions are there. Anyway, this is a different topic. I will cover in a separate lecture. In fact, one of our friends in Australia wanted me to give a few lectures on science in Vedas and Shastras. That I will cover those things there. But to summarize, I will conclude saying that now there are two types of books. One are the two types of Shastras. One are the Dharma Shastras. Other are other Shastras like Ayurveda Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Tarka Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Vaisheshika Shastra, and so on. So all these are sciences, whereas the Dharma Shastras are dealing with dharma. And in the ancient times, the Dharma Shastras were acting as the books of law, like the Constitution of India today. The equivalent of it or analogous to it was Manusmriti about 10,000 years ago. And it has been revised so many times, and Parashara Smriti came, and so many other Smritis came. Till the British law came, they were following different Smritis in different parts of the country at different times. So the British law came from Roman law, Roman jurisprudence, which is having reasons to be traced back to the Manusmriti in the ancient times. So, but modern times, the British law came from Roman law, and Indian law came out of British law and Hindu law together, and derived partly from Hindu scriptures and partly from English scriptures, English law, and finally we have today the law. But the important point to note is that even this law today, which you have in the courts, is having certain parts, certain principles and values, same as what is there in the Bhagavad Gita, what is there in Manusmriti, and that these are the principles of truth and principles of non-violence, non-stealing, chastity, and non-accumulation, and all these five basic principles, yamas. They are the same principles, because the modern law in the courts, any country, will punish a person if he performs theft. Asteya is a principle in yamas. And if he performs cheating or lying, then he will be punished. That is satya. And then if he hurts anybody or kills anybody, he will be punished. Even not only killing but hurting by physical means or by any means, violence will be a punishable thing in law. Domestic violence is punishable in law even today. So same principles which we have studied yesterday in the 16th chapter, some of them, not all, some of them have been taken over by the law. So with this now, the question Arjuna is asking is, Ye Shastra Vidhi Mutsrujya, those who don't follow any Shastra, Yajante Shraddhaya, at the same time they perform Upasana. Yajna means doing Yajna or doing Upasana or doing yoga and all such things. With Shraddha, with dedication. And Tesham Nishtha Tuka Krishna Sattva Rajastamaha. What about their Nishtha? Is it Sattvic or Rasik or Tamasic? Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. You can chant it within yourself, without opening the mics. I will give you some break for chanting for a few seconds. Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sasvabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha. Shraddha. Shraddha means what? Commitment, dedication, concentration, application of mind, application of complete heart and soul into it. Shraddha. Dehinam, and those who have dehas, their souls. Sa Swabhavaja. That Shraddha is a Sa. Sa means she. That Shraddha is used as feminine gender because it is having Dirghanta. All Dirghantas are feminine and all feminines are Dirghantas. Swabhavaja. It is born out of Swabhava. Swabhava means what? Nature. Nature of that person. Already existing nature. Now you see, when we have even twins who are born at the same time, they behave differently. They have different nature. Swabhava is different. So that Swabhava, according to the Swabhava, the person can be either Satviki, Rajasi or Tamasi. Satviki, Rajasi, Chaiva, Tamasi, Cheti, Tam Srunu. Now I will explain those three things the Lord is saying. Sattvanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata Shraddhamayoyam Purusho Yo Yat Shraddha Sa Eva Saha Yan Yajante Sattvika Deva Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa. Pretan bhutaganan yajante tamasa jana. Now, what he has said in the previous sloka is that Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. So, Sattvanurupa Visishtha Samskara Rupe Ta Antakarananurupa Sarvasya Pranijatasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata. Shraddha by itself is Sattvanurupa, is a sattvic quality by itself. If you have to have Shraddha, Bhakti, or commitment, dedication, discipline, hard work, it requires self-control, which is a sattvic quality. Shraddha bhavati bharata yadyetam kim syas. Now Shraddhamaya Purushaha, a person who is highly dedicated, jivasya yasraddha tasraddhanurupa eva sajivaha. According to his own type of Shraddha, Shraddha will be classifiable into three categories, and according to that type of Shraddha, that personality will behave. Now you see, we can see in our life, different people are behaving in different ways. Different personalities are there. Even twins will behave different personalities. Husband and wife have different personalities. Brothers have different personalities. So why is it like that? It is like that because it is their nature. Uska swabhav hai वैसा. It is his samskar or swabhav by birth or by his previous life or by his upbringing or by his knowledge level, whatever it is, or partly by parents, partly by his own previous life personalities. They will behave like that. Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Like we have a cow and we have a tiger. Cow is by nature like that. Tiger is by nature like that. You cannot expect tiger to behave like cow or cow to behave like tiger by nature. So now he is explaining what will happen and who will do what kind of upasana, which category of person will do. Yajante sattvika devan. The devas, who are the devas? Starting with Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, all these devas, going up to Devas, Mahadeva, Shiva, or to Narayana, or to Brahma, or to Adiparashakti. They are all devas. Adiparashakti includes Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, and all this. Yajante Sattvika Devan. The Sattvika characteristic people will perform upasana on the devas only. Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa. The Rajasa quality people who are always in a violent mode, like our Duryodhana, Dushasana kind of fellows, or tiger kind of people, they want to perform upasana not on these devas, but they want to perform upasana on Rakshasas and Yakshas. There are tantrics who perform upasana on Rakshasas also. And I heard there are some videos coming up nowadays that there are some extraterrestrial bodies who are entering into the Earth society in the human form. Actually, Rakshasas coming from outer space. I don't know how far it is true or false. It may be false also. And they are controlling this society. They are controlling America. They are controlling Russia. They are controlling China. And they are influencing the decision-making processes in the top levels of these countries. That's what some people say in the YouTube world. It may be true, may not be true. And they say they have come through UFOs, unidentified flying objects, which are spacecrafts of the external living beings from outer space. So they may be Rakshasas, because we have the 14 lokas, 7 adholokas and 7 urdhalokas. Atala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. And then these are the adholokas, downward. And urdhalokas are Bhu is Bhuloka, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. Satyam is Brahmaloka. So these 14 lokas, people are going up and down in their own invisible vimanas. And some of them may be entering Earth through UFOs. And some of them may be Rakshasas. This is the theory. And then there are tamasic people who will be performing upasana of pretas. Pretas means ghosts. This is mantriks, tantriks you have seen in the movies and all, ghosts, and bhutaganans cheva. These bhutaganas which are there like Pramasaganas and others who are there with Shiva sometimes. So there are some tamasic upasikas who perform upasana on such people also. And in the whole world, only in Hinduism today, the devas are being propitiated. Because there is no upasana in other religions, except the upasana of Allah in Islam and the upasana of Jesus or Jehovah in Christianity. In the extensive, detailed, in-depth upasanas which we have for Shiva, for Vishnu, for the Adi Parashakti, for Saraswati, Lakshmi, so much in-depth in various forms, in various stages of life. For children, Saraswati, for education, then Lakshmi, then Durga, for warriors, success. In fact, Mahabharata war beginning, Krishna tells Arjuna to go and meditate on Adi Parashakti, Durga, Ashtabhuja Durga, for victory. And then he performs meditation and she appears and she requests her to give him the Vardhan of victory. Then she says, I don't have to give any Vardhan for victory to you because Lord Krishna is with you, who is Narayana himself, so victory is automatically with you. So Ashtabhuja Durga, and you can see in the Shiva's Har Har Mahadev serial also how the Adi Parashakti was Sati, and then she later born as Parvati, as human, and then finally married Shiva, and again she manifests as Adi Parashakti, as Kali, and so on. So all the spots where all the Rakshasas were destroyed are there in Himalayas. I went to all the spots. So now these mantriks and tantriks you might have seen in Patala Bhairavi and other movies and also in various stories. They perform upasana of pretas, ghosts, and also bhutaganas, bhutas and pretas, bhuta, preta, pishacha, sakini, dakini, all these kind of what are called the tantric and non-Vedic and non-divine powers. So the three categories of Shraddha are there, three categories of Upasana, and accordingly they will be performing Upasana. These three kinds of objectives or goals. Now, Ashastra Vihitam Ghoram. All of you chant without opening the mics. Ashastra Vihitam Ghoram. Tapyante ye tapojana. दंभाहंकार संयुक्ता कामराग बलान्विता कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्धि asura nischaya. Now asura tapas is being explained because we have heard in the Puranas the asuras have performed a lot of tapasyas. Ravana has also performed, Hiranyakashipu, and so many asuras. What kind of tapasya they perform? First of all, ashastra vihitam. It is not as per the shastras. Whatever you do, it has to be according to the shastra. Otherwise, it will give you a negative result. Like in yoga also, if you practice yoga in the wrong fashion without shastra, and if you perform yoga by watching TV and reading books without a teacher, it is completely wrong. Ashastra vihitam ghoram. It will be ghora, horrible. The tapasya which asuras perform will be horrible tapasya. And a dambha ahankara samyukta. It is along with tremendous amount of bluffing and egoism. And kama raga balanvita. And they have kama desires, raga attachments, and bala strength. Karshayanta sharirastham. They will torment the body. Bhutagramam achetasaha. They are achetasaha, non-intelligent people. Mam cheva anta sharirastham tan vidhis asuran nischayan. If they torment even the self inside the body, and if they do like that, that kind of a tapasya definitely is asuri. Next. That means the satvika tapasya is different, rajasa tapasya is different, Rajasa upasana is different. Tamasi upasana, tamasi tapasya is asuri tapasya also is there. They may get results, some results, which are again going to be negative. Finally, they'll destroy themselves with those results. You know that great result our Bhasmasura got. He prayed to Shiva with Ghora Tapasya and got the varam from Shiva that whosoever his hand is kept on the head, that person will die, will become Bhasma, will become ash. And finally, Mohini Avatara, Vishnu comes and makes that fellow keep his hand on his own head. And he himself will become Bhasma. That fellow is known as Bhasmasura because he is made to dance in Bharatanatyam. And he is trying to simulate various postures in Bharatanatyam along with Mohini Avatar. And finally, that suddenly in the middle, in the pit of dance, Mohini keeps the hand on her own head. Mohini is the avatar of Vishnu as a dancer. And this Bhasmasura keeps the hand on his own head and becomes Bhasma. Because as soon as he got to that vara, he wanted to keep his head on Shiva himself. So Shiva runs away, having given that varam. So finally, there was no other way except he has to keep on his own head. So the Rakshasas who get such powers will finally be destroyed by their own powers. Now coming to food. Aharas Swapi sarvasya Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyaha yajnastatha yajnastapastatha danam tesham bhedamimam shrunu. Now ahara is also trividha, three types, Rajasi, Satviki and Tamasi. And yajna is also trividha, Satviki, Rajasi and Tamasi. And tapas is trividha, Satviki, Rajasi and Tamasi. Dhanam also is trividha, Satviki, Rajasi and Tamasi. Now, this is very important sloka. You all must memorize it. What is Satvika food? Ayus sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardhana ahara rajasas rasya snigdha sthira hrudya ahara satvika priya. Read once again. Ayuhu sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardhana rasyaah snigdhaah sthiraah hrudyaah ahara satvika smita. What are satvika foods? Those which are rasyaah juicy, snigdhaah soft, sthiraah fixed, hrudya lovable, जो आप चाहते हैं, जो आपको पसंद है, आहारा सात्विक प्रिया. And they will give ayuhu, longevity they will increase, sattva, strength, sattva is peacefulness, bala is strength, arogya is health, no coronavirus, nothing, only food itself is a medicine. Sukha, happiness, comfort, enjoyment. Some people think only by drinking alcohol they will have sukha. It is not true. You can drink orange juice or you can drink good cow milk and still have sukha, enjoy it. It is not required to enjoy alcohol only. You can enjoy many things in life. Good mango also will be highly enjoyable, much more than alcohol. This is a fake propaganda people have done. You eat a good mango, rasam, that will be much more enjoyable. In fact, there is a story of one Badshah of our Mughal Badshah. He wanted to know how a juicy mango will taste in winter. In winter, you cannot get any mangoes. So one trick was made. He said, "You first, you can eat mango provided you close your eyes first." All right, you close your eyes. Then they have taken some liquid made up of sweetener like jaggery and some imli and all that, both sour and sweet together. And they put the beard, that fellow's own beard, long beard he had. They put that beard into his mouth and put that water from the top of it. Then he was asked to suck his own beard, pichu. So he started sucking, and that water started coming, which is both sweet and sour, like mango juice. And he kept on saying, "Oh, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic," closing his eyes. So this also can be enjoyment. That is hridya, pleasure. Anything which is enjoyable is sattvic, not necessarily alcohol. Ayuhu sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priya. Next, rajasic. Kattu amla atyushna tikshna roksha vidahinaha. Kattu amla lavana atyushna tikshna roksha vidahinaha. Ahara rajasasyeshtha dukkha sokamaya prada. Now we like this kind of foods. First, katu, bitter. Amla, acidic. Lavana, saltish. We add salt. And atyushna, very, very hot, 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 hot. And tikshna, strong, very strong. Ruksha, very ruk, that is karam, hot, burning the tongue. And vidahinaha, those which cause thirst, oily foods. Ahara, this kind of foods which we normally eat are rajasic foods. Ahara, rajasasyeshtha, they are liked, they are very much liked by the rajasics. And what will they cause? Dukkha, soka, amaya prada. Whereas the sattvic foods cause ayuhu, sattva, bala, arogya, sukha, priti, vivardhana. Rasya, snigdha, sthira, hrujya, ahara, sattvika priya. So now rajasic food you have seen. Now what is tamasic food? Come on, chant all of you. Yata yamam gata rasam. Oti paryushitam chayat. Uchishtam cha medhyam. Bhojanam tamasapriyam. Tamasas will like what kind of food? Yata yamam. Any food will become tamasic if it is stale food. If it is cooked and kept stored for more than 2.5 hours. Yama is 2.5 hours. If you cook rice morning and eat in the night, it is tamasic food. If you cook rice in the night and eat next morning, it is tamasic food. Or even if you cook rice in the morning and eat in the evening, it is tamasic food. 2.5 hours after cooking, it will start fermenting. Any food, cooked food. Yatayamam gatarasam, and lost its rasa, which is the main essence. Endipoindi, pulsipoindi, kulipoindi. And stale foods, even pizzas and burgers are all stale food because they are kept for a long time, stored. And packed foods are tamasic foods because they are kept for weeks and months. And let me tell you one top secret about all our very, very rich and successful friends in America and other countries. If you visit their house, this secret will be leaked out. They eat food cooked for days and weeks and months. Can you believe this? So rich to say, but they will cook once, keep in the fridge and go on eating the same food for many days, many weeks, many months also. I was shocked to see this. When I went to one of my relatives' house, that lady told, I was cooking for you for the last 10 days. What is nonsense? Today only I have come. She has been cooking for 10 days and keeping in the fridge for me. And she says it's a very great effort she has put. Nobody, even a beggar in India will not eat like that. All our NRIs are eating like that. And they get into all kinds of health problems. They have no shame, and we have no shame to allow them to do that. Yatayamam gatarasam puti parishtayam chayat uchishtam apichamedhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Uchishtam means that which is thrown out. Paryushitam, పక్వము చేయబడి రాత్రి నిలవై ఉన్నట్టిది అంటే చద్దన్నం లాంటిది. ఉచ్ఛిష్టం అనగా భుజింపగా మిగిలినది. आप आधा खा लिया और आधा और एक दे दिए, वो उच्छिष्ट बोलते उसको. Engili kood. And some of our friends eat all together in the same plate, and they will all get corona definitely because they are spreading from one person to the other. You should have basic hygienic principles. You should not eat stale food. Sadhyanamu, poddurdi ratri, ratri podduna, idanta tappu. Fresh, hot food, warm food should be eaten, not very hot. If you eat very hot, it will also be very bad. Yatayamam gatarasam puti parishtam chamedhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Next, food he has already told, 3 types of food. If you have any questions, you ask me at the end. Aphala kankshi, or right now you can ask if you want about the 3 types of food, Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. We'll finish. That's very important for yoga point of view. You must eat only Sattvic food. Of course, we cannot completely avoid Rajasic food. We eat Rajasic food also to some extent, but we have to minimize it. And we have to increase the Sattvic food, reduce Rajasic food, and totally avoid Tamasic food. Aphalakankshi bhiryajno vidhidrushto yajyate. Now he's talking of yajna, 3 types of yajnas. Aphalakankshi bhiryajnah vidhidrushtaha yajyate. If you perform a yajna without a particular goal or desire, and as per the vidhi, as per the rules strictly, ishtavyame veti manas samadhaya sasatvikaha. Yashtavyam, such a yajna which is performed according to the rules of the with the determination. Yashtavyam means I must do this yajna with that determination. And for manas samadhaya, only for peace of mind, so it's called sattvika yajna. No particular desire except loka kalyana, Vishwa Shanti. And as per the vidhi, vidhi means the rules given in the Shastras and Vedas. And that yajna is called Sattvika yajna. The next yajna is Rajasic yajna. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhardhamapi chaiva yat ijyate bharatasreshta tam yajnam vidhi rajasam. They have a particular objective. बेटी का शादी होना, बेटे को जॉब मिलना, या बेटे का पीएचडी कंप्लीट होना, इस तरह का एक गोल लगा के अभिसंधाय तो फलम, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट. Such people who are in dire need or dire requirement of such desires, they can do such yajnas. They will do and they are doing. You go to any temple, you will find all these bookings happening. And another category are dambhardhamapi. ओ मैं बहुत बड़ा आदमी हूं बोल के बताने के लिए यज्ञ जो करते हैं, सबको बुला के देखो आ जाओ देखो कितना, अरे इतना प्रभु साहब इतना बड़ा यज्ञ करे, ऐसा बोल के सब सोचना बोल के. Like our Daksha Yajnam. In Daksha Yajnam, he called everybody except Shiva and keep on abusing Shiva, and finally that yajna became a big hoax. And finally he was killed there. And Sati also died. And she was reborn as Parvati. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhardhamapi chaivayat ijjate bharata sreshta tam yajnam vidhi rajasam. Now what about tamasic fellows? Vidhihinam asrishtannam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate. Vidhihinam, not following the procedure as per the Shastra, and asrishthanam, without giving annadanam to people, brahmanas and others. Annadanam is a compulsory requirement in all yajnas. Without giving any annadanam, asrishthanam, annam is not created there. Mantrahinam, mantras are not there. You will be surprised, in places like Delhi, they perform even marriages without mantras. They don't know, they forgot everything. Mantrahinam. Then Shraddha Virahitam, no Shraddha at all. Are kare to karenge, nahi to nahi. And some people in our city also, they conduct marriages at any time. They will say 2:36 is Muhurtam, but some people are there. If you go there at 2:36 in a hurry, nobody will be there. The bridegroom has not come, bride has not come. Kya hua bole to aayenge, thoda allu aa rahe abhi aa rahe. So baad mein slowly after 2 hours they will come, after the Muhurtam is over. And then they will have marriage at that time without any mantras. This kind of people are also there. Yajnam, such yajnas are called tamasa yajnas. Next, what is tapas? Please note these three, all these slokas are very important. You have to by heart some of them. What is tapas at the Sharira body level? What is tapas at speech, vak level? And what is tapas at Manasa level? Everybody knows tapas. Normally they show tapas means that fellow went and sits under a tree, closes his eyes and chants mantra. That's all is a tapas. Is that true? Now he's telling three types of tapas. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. First step in tapas of bodily level is pujana, to adore, to worship, to praise, and to propitiate devas and dvijas. Who are dvijas? Brahmanas, gurus, and prajnas. Prajnas are knowledgeable people. Anybody who is knowledgeable, maybe old man or young man. Prajna, he knows a lot. Like Krishna was performed the puja in Rajasuya by Yudhishthira, because he's a prajna, he knows a lot. Though he's not as old as Bhishma or Drona or even Vyasa was sitting there. Krishna was considered as superior to Vyasa also, though he's very young compared to Vyasa or Bhishma. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam. Shaucham is purity. Arjavam is honesty. Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha. Brahmacharyam, you know what it is, right? Ahimsa, you know, Shariram Tapa Uchyate. Tapas in the body form is, Sharira tapas is the above category. First is respecting and propitiating and pujanam, puja of devas, dvijas, gurus and prajnas. This includes parents, because parents are more than guru. Parents, guru, brahmanas and devas and prajnas, they are all to be worshipped. And having purity, arjavam in honesty, integrity, brahmacharyam, ahimsa, this is called shariram tapas. Next, what is vak tapas? Anudvegakaram vakyam. All of you chant. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. What is speech tapas? Vak tapas. To speak in a particular way. What is that particular way? Anudvegakaram vakyam. You should speak sentences which are not going to create provocation, incitement, excitement, and violence in the other person who is listening to you. If you walk on the street, a stranger is walking, if you go and tell him some bad words, what will happen? He'll beat you immediately. If you tell him good words, he will also say good words. So, anudvegakaram vakyam, satyam. It has to be truth. It has to be unexciting, unprovocative. Priyahitam. It should be friendly. Hita is a friend. Priya is pleasing. Pleasing friend. A pleasing friend, how he talks, you should talk like that. This kind of a talk is called tapas in talking. And also chanting, swadhyaya. Chanting, studying, reading, like what we are doing today. This is also tapas. Vangmayam tapa uchyate. So please practice these principles immediately, particularly with your contacts, like your wife, husband, children, or brother, sister, teacher, students. Speak in a very sweet, friendly, and unprovocative manner. Truth only, of course. So there is a statement in Sanskrit, Satcham bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, asatcham apriyam. Speak truth, speak pleasant things only, and don't speak unpleasant untruths. You have to speak truth pleasantly, and you should not speak truth unpleasantly, and you should not speak untruth unpleasantly, and you should not speak untruth pleasantly. Untruth pleasantly spoken is called a lie. White lies, black lies, and statistics. Next, what is manasik tapas? All of you chant mana prasada saumyatvam Maunam Atmavinigraha Bhava Samshuddhi Ityetat Tapo Manasamuchyate. What is Manasik Tapas? Mana Prasadaha. Having peaceful state of mind. Prasadam ante gudiలో పెట్టే prasadam కాదు. Purity and calmness of mind is called prasada in Sanskrit. గుడిలో పెట్టే ప్రసాదం తెలుగులో ప్రసాదం. ఇక్కడ అది కూడా అది తింటే మన ప్రసాదం సంస్కృత ప్రసాదం వస్తుందని అర్థం. అంటే మైండ్ కామ్ అవుతుంది. మన ప్రసాద కామ్ స్టేట్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. సౌమ్యత్వం అంటే బీయింగ్ వెరీ సాఫ్ట్, లైక్ ధర్మరాజా, ఆల్వేస్ సాఫ్ట్. You will never see Dharmaraja becoming fierce or violent. Maunam, silence. Silence is golden. Silence can be more powerful than speech many times. Because a person who is silent will command respect, will command attention from all others. You know why? As long as you are silent, nobody knows what you are, what you know, what you don't know, what good you have done or what bad you have done. The moment you open your mouth, you will be exposed. If you ask a question, that question indicates where you stand. I'm not saying you should not ask questions, but I'm telling you the fact. A question asked by a person indicates his level. And he's telling lies or truth. Whatever he says, whatever you speak will indicate your personality. So Maunam is very powerful. If you, in a meeting, as long as you keep silent, people have no bad opinion about you. People will not react against you. At the moment you start speaking, they know where you stand, what are you, what is your personality, whether you are telling the truth or false. And accordingly, they will react. They can react violently or they can react positively, depending on how you speak. Bhava samshuddhihi, having pure thoughts. Now, this is very important. Normally, people get all kinds of thoughts. Now, when they dream also, they get bad dreams, nightmares. And when they wake up also, they get horrible thoughts. Koi mar gaya, koi isko ye ho gaya, usko wo ho gaya. And when somebody is sitting idle in coronavirus time, sitting at home, he's getting all kinds of thinking thoughts, all kinds of things. Aisa hai, aisa hai, aisa bola, kira, wo kara. So bhava samshuddhi is very important. Purity of thoughts. You should never allow your mind to think negative thoughts. So the best way to do is to observe your thoughts, observe your mind. That is called meditation. Observation is meditation. Vipasya means seeing carefully. Visheshena pasyatiti vipasya. You observe what thoughts you are getting. So as you go on observing, those thoughts will be reducing. Finally, they may be totally stopped. If you are totally stopped, you are free, you are liberated, you are no encumbrance. Like a child, you will be happy. A child is free. Only an adult will get all kinds of thoughts. Those thoughts will be belonging to fear, anger, greed, lust, jealousy, so many negative emotions. So this, having no such negative emotions, but having purity of thought is called manasika tapas. Apart from mana prasadaha, saumyatvam, maunam, atma vinigraha, self-control. The most difficult thing. People cannot control themselves. They go on talking left and right, whatever they feel like. And that creates so many problems. It can create health problems on the audience. Those who are listening, particularly if they are old people or parents, the way you talk will make them hurt and upset. They will get heart attack also. Depending on how you talk, what kind of anger you show, what kind of disgusting behavior you show. So it's very important. You have to have self-control. I'm not saying all of you are behaving like that. Bhava samshuddhirityeta tapo manasamuchyate. Now the questions which you are going to ask have to be related to what we are discussing, not any other question. How to control coronavirus, you cannot ask me in this session. So you have to ask a question which is related to what we are discussing now. Shraddhaya. Now next, श्रद्धया परया तप्तम् तपन्तस्त्रिविधं नरैः अफलाकांक्षिभिर्युक्तैः सात्विकं परिचक्षते. And that tapas which is performed with Shraddha, with great Shraddha, para Shraddha, transcendental dedication and commitment, extreme Shraddha, and tapanti trividham naraihi, in three forms, aphalakankshibhir yuktaihi. If it is without a particular phalam, ये मेरे को होना बोल के एक कामना करके जो तप किया जाता है वो लोअर लेवल होता है. बिना कोई कामना जो तपस्या करते हैं वो सात्विक तपस्या होता है. सत्कार मान पूजार्थम तपो दंभेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तम राजसम चलमध्रुवम. राजसिक तपस कैसा होता है? दूसरों को बताने के लिए होता है. उन्होंने एडवर्टाइजमेंट देता, बहुत बड़ा बोर्ड लगाता, फलाना आदमी तपस्या कर रहा है, आप सब आके देखो. सत्कार करने होने के लिए. और ये तपस्या कर रहा है, आके सब ले उसके पैर के ऊपर साष्टांग नमस्कार. हमारे प्रवीण कपड़िया सब सबको साष्टांग नमस्कार करवाते थे अपने आप को. थोड़ा सा शर्म होना चाहिए. तो सत्कार मान पूजार्थम, पूजा कराने के लिए, मान सम्मान बढ़ाने के लिए, सत्कार कराने के लिए जो तपस्या करते हैं लोग, not that they are interested in that tapasya, they are interested only in getting that kind of recognition, respect and praise, and maybe some gifts also from the audience, from the visitors. And such a tapasya is called rajasic tapas. अध्रुवम दंभेन चैवयत्, बहुत ब्लफिंग के साथ, क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तम राजसम तप. And what about tamasic tapas? मूढ़ग्राहेण आत्मानो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्. Tamasic tapas is that which is done by a fool, mudha, grahena, atmanaha, yet pidaya, pida karke. Some people, they will torment their body. Sudhi kuchadamu lakpote idi kotkodamu. You might have seen sometimes some of these fellows will come with a big rope. They are beating themselves. They are cutting themselves. They are hurting themselves. They are burning themselves. Pida. That is tamasic tapas. Tapas only, but tamasic. Mudha grahena atmanaha yat pidaya kriyate tapaha. पारस्य उत्साधनार्थ. क्यों कर रहे हैं सब? दूसरों को भटकाने के लिए. पारस्य उत्साधनार्थाया. पैसे दो बोल के अपने आप को मार लेता हूं. पूरा खून निकलते रहता उसके बदन पर. यह तामसिक तपस्या है. दानम के लिए बोल रहे. 3 टाइप्स ऑफ दान. दातव्यमिति यद्दानम दीयते अनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्. दान जब देंगे, सात्विक दान क्या होता है? दातव्यमिति यत् दानम दीयते अनुपकारिणे. आप किसी को कोई चीज देते हैं जो आप पहला कोई ऋणी नहीं है. आपको पहले उन्होंने 1000 रुपया दिया, फिर आप उसको 1000 रुपया दे रहे, ये दान नहीं होता. Reimbursement. So when you give a dan to a person anupakarine who has not done anything to you in the past, who has not given any favor to you, कोई उपकार नहीं किया आपको पहला, ऐसे आदमी को आप दान करना चाहिए. जो आपको पहले बहुत उपकार किया है उसको आप दान देंगे तो कोई फायदा नहीं है. वो दान बोल के गिनना नहीं आता है. आप अपने माँ बाप को कुछ पैसे दिए तो दान बोल के नहीं होता. वो दान बोल के नहीं होता. माँ बाप आप कितना करें, आप कितना भी दो कम नहीं, कम ही होता। देशे काले च पात्रे च, ये तीन चीज है, देश काल पात्र। कौन से जगह पे दे रहे हैं, कौन से टाइम पे दे रहे हैं, और किसको दे रहे हैं। पात्र मतलब यदि लायक है या नालायक है। आप नालायक को देंगे, जैसे हमारे गुरुजी योगा का विद्या का दान जो है हमारे प्रवीण कपड़िया साहब को दिए, वो इतना हराम निकले, बाद में बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया। तो गुरुजी बहुत पछताए है, नालायक को दिया मैं योग विद्या का दान बोल के। तो योग विद्या का दान भी लायक को देना चाहिए, पैसे भी लायक को देना चाहिए। यदि समझो आप किसी करोड़पति को आप जाके पैसा देंगे, कोई फायदा है क्या। एक करोड़पति दूसरे करोड़पति के पास जाके मेरे को पैसे दो बोल के लेता, डोनेशन दो बोल के। मैं एक योगा इंस्टीट्यूट बना रहा हूँ, मैं ये वेदा इंस्टीट्यूट, ये पहले ही करोड़पति है, दूसरा करोड़पति से क्या मांग रहा है। तो आप देना है, जिसको जरूरत है उसको देना पड़ता है, जिसको काम असली टाइम पे 1 rupee also will mean 1 million. In my own childhood, I had such crisis in my time. I didn't have 1 rupee also when my father died. But somebody came and helped me at that time. He might have spent 500 rupees at that time for conducting funeral. But today I may give him 5 lakhs also. That is not adequate. The time matters. At what time 1 rupee also will save a life. Will save a complete education. You know, if you give fees for a student, you are making his life, complete life. देश काल पात्र, कौन से टाइम पे देंगे, कौन से सर्कमस्टांसेस पे देंगे, और किसको देंगे, और किस जगह पे देंगे। You know that Harshad Mehta's case, he 1 crore was given by Harshad Mehta to Prime Minister बोल के बहुत बड़ा रैकेट स्कैंडल हो गया था। वो प्रूफ बताने के लिए वो पेटी निकाल के क्या क्या, आप किसको कहाँ कैसे पैसे दिए, बहुत मैटर होता है। The police can catch you if you have money with you in your car. Police will catch you. कहाँ से आया ये मनी आपको? Income tax will catch you. देशे काले च पात्रे च यद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतं यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतं। राजसिक दान क्या होता है? प्रत्युपकार। वो पहला आपने को कुछ दिया तो हम फिर उसको दे देंगे। पहला मेरे को आके एक पारितोषिक दिया तो मैं उसको फिर पारितोषिक दूंगा। वो मेरे को जॉब दिलाया तो मैं उसको जॉब दिलाऊंगा। वो मेरा बेटे को उन्हें जॉब दिलाया तो मैं उसके बेटे को जॉब दिलाऊंगा। ये हो गया राजसिक दान। आदेश काले च यद्दानम अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतम अवज्ञातम तद्दानम तामसमुदाहृतम। तामसिक दान क्या होता है? कोई भी किसी को भी किसी टाइम पे भी किसी को भी आप जाके, एक चाकू है आपके पास, चाकू जाके एक छोटा बच्चे को दे दिए, वो बच्चा वो चाकू से अपने आप को मार लेता, दूसरों को मारता। आपका दान क्या हो गया? चाकू दान करे आप बच्चे को, छोटा बच्चे को। तो गलत आदमी को आप कोई चीज दे दिए, योगा ज्ञान भी दिए या पैसे दिए या कोई भी दान दिए, वो उल्टा रिजल्ट हो जाता, वो तामसिक दान है। असत्कृतम अवज्ञातम, not understood completely. Now finished, all these are finished. Now we are coming to the last part of this chapter. Om Tat Sat iti nirdeshah. Om Tat Sat iti nirdeshah brahmanastrividha smrutah. Brahman, God, is indicated by 3 words. Om Tat Sat. Sat means truth. That is that. Om, that is truth. Om Tat Sat means Om, that is truth. Brahmanastena vedascha yajnascha vihita pura. So Om Tat Sat is also indicating Brahmanas, Vedas and Yajnas. Tasmad Om Ityudahritya, always start with Om. Therefore, Tasmat Om Ityudahritya, always Ahruti will be Om. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam. Or Om will be the beginning. Yajna Dana Tapakriya. Any yajna, any dana, any tapas, all these things will start with Om. pravartante vidhanokta satatam brahmavadinam. Brahmavadis means those who know Brahman or those who know Veda. They tell you the procedures of giving dana, performing yajna, performing tapas, all start with Om. Tadityabhisandhaya phalam yajnatavah kriyaha. Tat means, it means the phala of yajna and tapa and kriya. Dana kriyascha vividhak sriyante mokshagankshibhihi. Om tat sat మూడు వర్డ్స్ ని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఓం గురించి చెప్పాడు, ఇప్పుడు తత్ గురించి చెప్తున్నాడు. తత్ అంటే తత్ ఇతి అనభిసంధాయ ఫలం యజ్ఞ తప ఫల క్రియా దాన క్రియాశ్చ వివిధ క్రియంతే మోక్షకాంక్షిభిః. For those who achieve moksha, want to achieve moksha, the phalam should not be expected. You should always say Brahmarpanam, Krishnarpanam, Ramarpanam instead of saying for me I want this, I want that. And Tat Shabda is done in these procedures. And Sat Shabda, Sadbhave Sadhubhave cha Saditye Tat Prayuchyate. Sat means used in Sadhubhava and Sadbhava in karmas. Tada Sat Shabda Pardhayuchyate. Yajna tapasi dane cha. In yajna, in tapas, in dana, sthiti saditi uchocyate. That sthiti is called Sat. Om Tat Sat. Karma chaiva tadardhiyam. Karma is also mean by Tat. Tat means karma. Sadityeva abhidhiyate. So he has explained Om Tat Sat in different contextual interpretations. Lastly, the last shloka. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam krutam chayat asadidityoche pardha sachatat pretyano iha. What is asat? Asat means untruth. What is untruth? Any yajna which is done without shraddha, ashraddhaya hutam, ahuti diye without shraddha, dattam dan kiye without shraddha, tap kiye without shraddha, such a thing is called asat, falsehood. Finished. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahmam
Vidyayam
Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Saptadashodhyayah. Related to this chapter. Don't ask every question on earth.
Sir, in the food kind, as you have described, any food which is cooked up to 2.5 hours to be consumed. కానీ మనకి పెద్దవాళ్ళు సద్దన్నం అని పొద్దునే పెడతారు కదా సార్ చలవ అని చెప్పి. I mean, I'm just asking you.
Yeah, that is given for children in villages who go for farm work, not for all others. సద్దన్నం అని పెట్టేది పెద్దవాళ్ళకి, బ్రాహ్మణులకి, ఉపనయనం అయిన వాళ్ళకి, సంధ్యావనం చేసే వాళ్ళకి ఎవరు పెట్టరు. అది కేవలం చిన్నపిల్లలకి, అంటే ఇంకా వాళ్ళకి ఉపనయనం కాలేదు, దే ఆర్ జస్ట్ ఇన్ ది వాళ్ళకి పొద్దున్నే వెళ్ళి పొలాల పనులు చేసుకోవడానికి అటువంటి వాళ్ళకి పెడతారు అంతే. నాట్ ఫర్, అది మడి ఆచారం కింద పనికిరాదు. మడి ఆచారంతో వంట చేసినటువంటి భోజనమే సాత్వికమైన భోజనం, అదే వ్యాలిడ్. ఆల్ అదర్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్వాలిడ్.
Sir, there is also some recommendations with some people. Ratri annamlo paalu posi todesi poddune tinamantaru adi. It is good for you.
That is Shaddanam only. All that is under that category. See, the special categories of small children and agriculture labor people or pregnant women and all those special categories are different. We are not considering discussing here those things. We are discussing for standard Yogis and Brahmanas and Tapasvis and Rishis and standard people. For them, what is correct food? Not, suppose you say this for pregnant women, this lason is given, the Vellullipai. That is okay, that is separate. But for an ordinary person, Vellullipai is not recommended. It will cause so many other issues. So, like Ullipayalu, Vellullipayalu prohibited in Satvika Ahara. In fact, in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, yoga text, they have given a big list, and which is tallying with this list. I will now chant one sloka from Hatha Yoga Pradipika. What are the foods to be avoided? Katu, Amla, Atyushna, Tikshna, Ruksha, Harita Shaka, Sauvira, Sarshava, Madhya, Matsya, Ajadi, Mamsa, Dati, Takra, Kutta, Kola, Pinyaka, Ingulam, Ashnadim, Apatyamahu. Yes, prohibited for yogis all these foods that include Rajasic foods and Tamasic foods. We are talking of yoga abhyasa paras and brahmanas and tapasvis and rishis and standard people, scholars. For such people we are talking. For example, the warriors, they will eat non-vegetarian food, that is separate, Rajasic food only. Eat highly spicy food. You can't expect them to be sattvic. But we are not warriors. Warriors are those who are going to the war and fighting in the war. Are we going to the war? Are we carrying guns? Without carrying guns and without being warriors, if you want to behave like warriors and eat that kind of food, that is wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, no other questions? Vijbhushan? Okay.
Sir, there is one question given from Mr. Ravi. Lord Krishna said, I am in one and all. So what is secret and purpose of life? Please clarify, sir.
Lord Krishna said, I am one and all, which means God is in one and all, which means Paramatma, he is in all Atmas. So all Atmas are Paramatma. The purpose and goal of life for you is to realize that if you become Krishna or Buddha, then you have achieved purpose of your life. So your enlightenment, purpose of life is to get self-realization, enlightenment, jnana, and jnana will result in moksha.
Okay. So there is one more question. Thoughts, all kinds, good or bad. You should always absorbing thoughts like meditation. Manasika is from Kottapalli Yeshwant.
No, manasika tapas. See, tapas is observe in meditation. You observe your thoughts. Keep on observing your thoughts without getting carried away with those thoughts, without getting involved. Normally, what happens? People get carried away. People get involved. If you are carried away, you can never come out of it. When you are carried away with anger, when you are carried away with lust or with greed or with jealousy, like Duryodhana always carried away with jealousy. And Durvasa is always carried away with anger. And somebody else is always carried away with greed, conjuice, and some is always carried away with ahankar. So when you observe your thoughts, then you are not getting carried away. You know, okay, I am getting this thought, I am getting anger thought, I am getting jealousy thought, I am getting sex thought, or I am getting greedy thought, I am getting thought of stealing, or I am getting thought of lying, or getting a thought of hurting. Then you are getting separated from your thoughts. So that is the core principle of meditation or dhyana. So when you observe, pratyahara also, when you go on observing, such thoughts will be coming, they will not stop completely, but when you go on observing for a long time, 15-20 minutes, they will reduce, they will become calm. And every day when you do it for many days, many weeks, many months, they will be reduced, because it is like these thoughts will be avoided once the observation starts. It is like we put this CCTV camera. Why we put? Because we are showing a threat to the robber. If he comes there, he will be observed. So the thoughts also, when they know that they are being observed, they will stop coming. Just now somebody asked a question, how to stop your thoughts. How to stop your thoughts is a technique of yoga. The whole of yoga is meant for that only. You have to practice kriyas, you have to practice asanas, you have to practice pranayama, you have to practice meditation and om at the end. So at the end, your thoughts are stopped, not during all these steps. So when your thoughts are stopped completely, you are in yourself. That is yoga sthiti. As much as you can get, how much time, if you can be in that state for 5 minutes, it's a great achievement. If you can be in that state for 5 seconds, also a great achievement. Even if you are in that state for 1 second, I will say you are great. So be in yourself, without thoughts, without feelings, without emotions, even for a few seconds or minutes. That give you calmness. Yes, any other question? Food stored in fridge for a few hours is fine to consume if the reasoning is bacterial. Yes, if it is cold food is not recommended to eat. If you eat cold food, you will get acidity. You should eat warm food, unless it is a fruit or some such thing which is not possible to become warm. So lassi or such things, they can be kept in fridge and then taken. But if you put hot food in fridge, there is no use, because you have to eat cold food only after taking out from fridge. So the fridge is having a limited purpose of storing for many days without bacterial multiplication, but it cannot keep warmness or freshness of cooked food. It may keep fruits and vegetables somewhat fresh. That is fresh.
So I'd heard one more interpretation about food, like the food has Prithvi, Agni, Jal, Akash, and Vayu elements in them.
Yes.
So when we after over a period of time, certain things get over, and only Prithvi and probably Jal aspects are left out. So all the energy in it is gone. So only two aspects are left out.
Well, that is true. That is also true. They can give other interpretations also.
Yeah.
Like prana shakti. Prana food is also having prana shakti. Like if you take say if you take a coconut water, fresh coconut, you cut the coconut from tree, and if you go to Godavari district, they'll just in front of you they'll pull out one coconut from the tree and open it and cut and give you fresh. That coconut which is cut from the tree and immediately you consume it, it will have much more vitality and much more pranic value than the coconut which you buy in Hyderabad, which has been stored in Hyderabad for 15 days. And not to speak of the water bottled coconut water available in malls in Australia or in other countries. They're all stale foods. So as the longer you store, the more stale it becomes. And all these canned foods are also prohibited because of that reason. For yoga, nature cure point of view, canned foods, canned juices, they are definitely not good. The fresher, the better. More life, prana and energy will be there. And cooking also will reduce the pranic energy. Cooking is done only meant for disintegrating or destroying the pranic energy on one side and also the chewability. In fact, that's why in nature cure, cooking is not allowed. You have to eat raw. You have to eat raw vegetables, you have to eat raw fruits, and of course, rice you cannot eat raw. Of course, cow eats raw rice also. But what I'm saying is that we have to draw a balance between cooking and freshness so that at least you eat some fresh fruits and fresh vegetables like salads. Salads are uncooked. Again, salads also have other problems. Pesticides will be there. Cooking has some benefits of killing the pesticides and killing bacteria, but it also kills some of the nutrients. So it depends on where you draw the line.
Basically, you're saying maintain a balance between raw food and cooked food.
Yeah. So fruits is one thing which you should consume maximum in the whole day. You can eat, for example, if you eat early morning breakfast full of fruits, It will be very, very pleasant effect on the mind. Fruits and honey together, maybe mixture of fruits, many fruit, not one fruit, but multiple types of fruit. All fruits have different properties. Like from lightest to the strongest. Lightest is watermelon. Strongest will be a mango
Sir,
or banana. Yeah,
but it is said that fruits contain citrus, so it can go, matlab, transfer to acidity in the stomach.
that's right. There are two types of fruits: citrus fruits and non-citrus fruits.
Okay, you are saying watery fruits.
Yeah, non-citrus fruits only I'm referring right now.
Okay,
Because
thank you, sir.
this is the combination with milk. You cannot combine milk with citrus fruits. It will be damaged. You can combine milk with non-citrus fruits, apple and our banana, watermelon. They're all non-citrus fruits, sweetish. Again, the sweetness in fruits is not considered to be diabetic harmful. Only normal sugar is harmful. The sweetness in fruits is valid and it is acceptable. And again, as I was telling, there is a hierarchy in fruits, the lightest to the heaviest. The lightest is watermelon or coconut water. Coconut water, watermelon, and so on and so forth, pineapple and so on. Finally, you get the heaviest and strongest are like papaya and banana and mango. They are the strongest. So this is a big subject. One particular thing I have practiced to some extent is early morning before eating regular meal, eating fruits, but even gooseberry, amla murabba or fresh amla, because it directly get absorbed. Early morning, whatever you eat empty stomach will directly get absorbed into the body. No digestion is there because it's only juice. And you drink juice or eat fruit in a juicy manner, then it gets directly absorbed into the bloodstream, like coconut water. Coconut water, if you drink, within 20 minutes, it is absorbed by the bloodstream. So similarly, fruits within 20 minutes they are absorbed, and all fruits are nothing but vitamins. If you take a fruit basket of variety of fruits, you are taking multivitamin tablets, much better way than tablets themselves, because the fiber is also there. The fiber will clear up all the uncleared fecal matter in the body immediately, and that is best breakfast you can ever have. You can also have milk if there are no citrus fruits. If there are any citrus fruits, then avoid milk in the fruit breakfast.
Sir, if fruits is not in an option, can we have sprouts early in the morning?
Yes, sprouts is a different thing. Sprouts are also very good. So you can have sprouts also, no problem. And that to combination of sprouts, not one sprout, but multiple.
Yeah, combination or only wheat.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Again, I said after this is only for the first breaking fast. But after half an hour, 40 minutes, or 1 hour, you start feeling hungry. Then you have to eat a regular meal. Regular meal must be eaten 2 times a day normally, except for old people, 1 time is enough. Like I take only 1 meal in a day. So in the meal, which is taken maybe after 1 hour or after 1.5 hours or after the fruit, you can take fruits and milk. In that meal, first you take salads and sprouts, if any. First means a little bit. Say the total meal, if you break up into percentage, say 25%, you can take green salads mixture along with, and that means kira and tomato, etc., along with the sprouts also if required. After that, finishing that first, because that will clear the whole system and it will irrigate and create the ready for spicy food. Spicy means not very spicy. Normal food which you eat, dal, chawal, and rasam and sambar and etc. That you can take. Last will be the dahi or curds or buttermilk. Dahi is not good. Buttermilk is good. And don't drink water while eating food. You go on chewing. Whatever you eat, you have to chew. हमारे गुरुजी बोलते थे, drink solids and eat liquids. Rajbhushan, आपको याद होगा. Drink solids and eat liquids.
Yes,
So
always. That is my always in my class. I give these principles first to them.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. सो आप इतना बार चू करें कि वो पानी पानी बन जाता है, आप उसको पी लेंगे. कोई भी चीज, लड्डू भी हो, जो कुछ भी हो, वो पानी बन जाएगा चूइंग करते करते. एंड ड्रिंक सॉलिड्स एंड ईट लिक्विड्स. जो आप पीते हैं बोल के नहीं पीना. थोड़ा 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 थोड़ा, एज इफ यू आर ईटिंग, सिपिंग.
Sip by sip.
Yeah. So these are the main principles of health in yoga, and they are relevant to Satvika diets. All these yoga recommended diets are Sattvic only. A little bit Rajasic diet will be inevitably there in our lifestyle because of our habits. We cannot stop it completely. And even in the temples, they give pulihora, which is Rajasic, partly Rajasic. But tamasic is to be totally avoided. Alcohol is tamasic. And non-vegetarian is also partly tamasic and partly rasic. And spicy food of all spices, Punjabi spicy food and all that, is very harmful. It will create so many problems: ulcers, acidity, gastritis. So healthy itself is very difficult. Of course, the nature cure people go to the extreme. They don't eat any cooked food. They eat only raw food. That's very difficult to follow. In yoga, we don't recommend such extreme rules as nature cure. Though nature cure people practice yoga, yoga people need not follow nature cure 100%. To some extent possible, you can follow. Okay. Any other questions?
Anybody?
Early morning drinking. Sorry. Early morning drinking water is recommended. I've heard like.
Yes. Early morning means as soon as you open your eyes.
Yes.
If you drink, say 1 liter or half liter or quarter liter, whatever you can drink maximum capacity of water, which is stored in a copper vessel, that will have tremendous benefit.
Yeah.
Of course, that is provided it is summer. But if it is winter, you should drink warm water.
Okay.
And if it is yoga practice, you can drink water with salt also, salt water. In fact, in some parts of the world, they drink salt water every day, warm water with salt, every day, morning. I was surprised. I went to Meghalaya, Shillong. I was in the guest house. Morning, he came and gave me hot water with salt without asking. That means everybody drinks salt water with hot in the morning. That is a very good habit. If you drink hot water with salt every morning, your balls are cleaned, everything is clear. Of course, don't put salt in the copper vessel. And if you drink Nimbu Pani with honey, that is even superior. It can be warm in winter and cold in summer. Nimbu Pani with honey will reduce the fat in the abdomen. After drinking, when you do walking or exercising or sukshma, asanas, etc., etc. And after that, you take fruit breakfast with milk or without milk. And after that, some gap, you can take normal meals, or you skip the meals to the afternoon lunch. If you can manage with this fruit breakfast and sprouts, etc., as breakfast without a cooked breakfast, then you take full meal as a lunch.
I would personally love salads and sprouts, but then we have to bog down to our wives, their choices.
No, you have to develop the interest in their. Say, now my wife was also not into yoga and all that in the beginning, but now as she grew old, she realized that these principles of health are very important. Because otherwise, in young age, everything is hunky-dory, but as you grow old, you are going to invite so many health problems. So diet is a very important principle. Tinnaneriste rogam ledu. There's a proverb in Telugu. If you know how to eat, you cannot be sick.
So, what is your opinion on honey with hot items like warm water, warm milk?
No, it is prohibited.
So, sir, like green tea and honey, how we should mix them?
No, actually, honey is prohibited in hot condition. It will cause some side effects. But in some special cases, they take with due consequences. Honey should always be cold, especially with milk. It has to be cool milk. It cannot be hot milk. Even after Gajakarni, Jaldauti, when we drink milk, if you are putting honey, that milk has to be cooled. Cooled means not cold milk. It should not be warm or hot. It should be just
Room temperature.
yeah. You should cool it to that temperature, then add honey and then drink. Otherwise, you have to add only sugar and drink if at all you are eating sugar. Some people don't eat sugar at all.
I don't eat, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jaggery is also there. Jaggery is no problem.
Yeah,
And then
I use jaggery only.
among jaggeries, we have the third jaggery also, black jaggery. It is even much more superior.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So
It smells.
last
It does
question. Anyone last question you can ask? Anyone?
Okay, we close it now. So
Uh,
tomorrow is yeah.
Yes, sir. I request all other members, you can just we'll have Om Shanti Shanti and then you can log out. Some 2-3 members, we want to just 2 minutes आपसे एक discussion because tomorrow we are completing this. So how we'll proceed? So our those who are organizers, sir. So all of you chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mm.
Thank you, sirs.
Others you can log out. Just discuss with the sir for next program also. Mm. Yes, sir.
So, Surinder sir, Nitesh, sir, we are only 4. प्रभु सर से कुछ बात करना है सर? कुछ भी नहीं है.
प्रभु सर से ही बात करने के लिए 2 मिनट उनको बोल रहे थे.
सर नहीं है.
सर है नहीं है?
नहीं है.
तो उनको बोला था. एक बार ट्राई करके देखो.
I'll call him.